Good evening, everyone, and again, welcome to just a quick uh, match review and player ratings from yesterday's Carabao Cup against Crystal Palace last night. The game finished 0-0, but we won on a penalty shootout, 3-2. Oh my word! Again, it's about time we win a penalty shootout in a game of football. It really, really is definitely. So there you are. I've got to tell you, as soon as when it went to the penalty shootout, my heart was in my mouth. I've got to admit. So it was like, oh, I can't bear this. I just can't bear this at all. But we got through and won on the penalty shootout this time, which was absolutely amazing. It really, really was. If you do enjoy, please, of course, do stick the thumbs up. Of course, hit that subscribe button. Of course, if you're new to the channel, or if you enjoyed the content, you're not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well, because it will let you know whenever I am live or when there's been a video uploaded to the channel as well. Feel free to donate and feel free to become a member of the channel for just 99p as well. We'll just run through one comment that's come through. Mason, good evening, hope you're well. So there. But what can I say? The performance in general, it was absolutely shocking. I've got to admit, it was really, really poor. Both teams really tried to cancel each other out, which is what that majority of that game was yesterday. It really, really was. First half, in particular, was just abysmal. It really, really was. Crystal Palace had a couple of opportunities. I mean, one, Nick Pope had to really pull a good save off. He really, really did, definitely. We had that one chance through Elliot Anderson, and it wasn't a lot of power, and Johnston managed to gather that quite easily. So there, but second half, as soon as we brung on the likes of Bruno, Willock, Miggy, as well, so and Botman as well was another one. We started to make ourselves look a lot more better. But we're trying to create again some opportunities. I mean, Crystal Palace pretty much got away with one in the second half with a bit of miscommunication. It was, and then Chris Wood, unfortunately, it was the keeper saved it. Miggy had a chance which was saved as well. I've got to say, Chris Wood again just wasn't good enough for me again. He just wasn't good enough yesterday. He could score cracking penalties. I mean, that penalty he scored, which was absolutely brilliant. I've got to admit, but his overall performance, I've got to say, some of the players looked rusty for me yesterday. I thought Target was pretty much throughout early in the match. There was quite a few misplaced passes I saw him do. I've got to admit. So, yeah, I thought Maxi was pretty non-existent. He didn't do a lot for me yesterday, ASM. So I was very disappointed with that. Got him in. Jamal Lascelles, I've pretty much said what I need to say about Jamal Lascelles, pretty much. And he's just not good enough for this club anymore, I've got to admit. Manquillo, again, he's been out the side for a while, but there was so many opportunities. He was passing backwards a lot of the time, I've got to admit. So, but Sean Longstaff didn't have his greatest as well, but he looked knackered. He looked... I thought he looked pretty exhausted. I mean, because he's played like pretty much back-to-back games. I've got to admit. Joe Linton did very well for me, though, yesterday. He did very well for me yesterday, Joe Linton. That was the thing. Anderson tried at times. He really, really did. But again, the all-round performance it was poor. And draw was a fair result going into the penalty shootout. It really, really was. Indeed, so... You know what? Jonathan says, hi, Peter. I hope we get a good draw in the next round of the Cup. I hope we do as well. I hope it's another home tie, which would be really, really good for us, definitely. Mason says, who do you want in the next round? It's a tough one. I mean, the way we've been playing so far, particularly in the league, we could just anyone, really. Because now we're not frightened, even though that game was yesterday. But hopefully we will look to fight that in the next round, definitely. Like we are doing with our league form, pretty much. So, there you are. Jonathan says, Wilfred Zaha did not play last night. I was surprised not to see him play. I was very surprised that Zaha didn't play as well. Neither did Eze play as well. And I think that's been Crystal Palace's two of their best players this season, indefinitely. And I'm very surprised that both of them weren't were rested. They were dropped. Didn't make the game. Didn't make the bench as well. So I think that kind of backfired on Crystal Palace a little bit. I've got to admit, because I thought like one of those two would have expected to play, but they didn't. They had Alicia playing, and I think he's a really good player. I've got to admit. So, but yeah, just very surprised. Why did Patrick Vieira not bring Zaha or Eze to the game? So I'm a little bit staggered by that. I've got to admit. So, and there you are. But we've got to talk about the main man. And I know we'll be getting back on in the player ratings everything, but we've got to talk about him right there, because he saves Crystal Palace's 3 penalties in the shootout, and man of the match for me, because the way he managed to save those penalties from going in as well. So yeah, and that's why. And that is why as well, I've said it, why he should be the number 1 goalkeeper for England as well. There you are. Look at the way he took us to the next round in the Carabao Cup. There you are. Everton crashed out. So, but, yeah. But you can tell why Eddie Howe went with Nick Pope for a reason. There you are. As well. So, Chippers, also Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs all went out. 3 of the big 6. Yes, they are out as well. And Chelsea, we can beat them on Saturday. We really, really can. So yeah, some big teams went out as well. So as well. Chuchi Manderson, did he play last night? No, I don't think he did as well. I know Tompkins was one of the centre backs. And the other one that played alongside Tompkins, it was, well, actually they went with the 3 at the back. Palace, they went with Ward, Tompkins, and Gay. That was the 3 centre backs that they went with yesterday. So yeah, they didn't have it. So Anderson, no, he wasn't playing. A lot of Palace's substitutions were a lot of the academy players by the looks of it as well. So they didn't have any experience to come off the bench as well. Top 4, if Man U get beat again tonight. Well, let's see if they're going to go out against Aston Villa tonight. So that is going to be a very interesting game as well. Unai Emery make it another win and knock another big 6 team of the big 6 out as well, definitely. So, but very interesting. So, but let's get get into the penalty shootout. I mean, Chris Wood, he scored a cracking penalty. That's the thing he is good at, scoring penalties. But again, as I mentioned, just his all-round performance, it just wasn't really good enough for me. That was the thing. So there you are. But penalty, couldn't fault it. Cracking penalty, top corner it was as well. Trippier, he absolutely buried that past Johnston as well. He absolutely buried that one. So it was glad he got, and that's another one. I'm glad he came on in the game as well to try and save us a little bit as well. And his penalty was a belter. It really, really was indeed. So there. Joe Linton, great to see him get his penalty as well. So that was a delightful one as well to see as well. But the other 2 we then missed after that, unfortunately. So yeah, Jonathan says West Ham out 2 PR. Yep, they're out as well. So that's another Premier League team out that have crashed out as well. So yep, that was 9-10-9 on penalties to Blackburn. It was. So yeah. Really, really was. But the penalty misses. Botman, he tried to go down the middle with his penalty, and Johnston got a hand to it. But Bruno, of all people, his penalty, oh, Jesus, wept. I don't get why players run up and then stop. And then it massively backfires on them. All he should have done was just completely put his foot through that. First time, there you go. That's a chance. if that's going in, and we didn't need to really rely on Pope for making the save for the next penalty. Bruno, when he scored that, but the fact is, Palace then missed their penalty after that, and that won us the game 3-2 on penalties. So that was a delightful. But Bruno, he cannot be fought to doing that. Obviously, you could tell on the team photo he's not happy. I mean, it was definitely that penalty miss. But I don't get why. I didn't understand why he did that. But hey, we can't complain. That's the main thing. We won on a penalty shootout. So that was the thing. So there you are. But yeah. And yeah, of course, that draw will be made after the Man United and Villa game as well. So let's see we do get in that one as well. But yeah, as well. Just read that one. I've just read that one as well. So there, but yeah, keep the comments there coming in, guys, because it's interesting to get your thoughts as well about the game. Definitely, I mean, I don't think a lot of you are going to say it was a pretty rotten performance. It really, really was indeed. But just getting the penalties and winning on it, which is what we needed. Absolutely. I mean, who do you think we're going to get round? Who do you think we'll get in the next round? It'll be interesting to get your thoughts on that as well, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, have we now got a chance of going far now in this competition? I don't see why not. I really, really don't see why not. But we need to rectify our performances a little bit. Tranmere wasn't fantastic. Got one mate yesterday. I mean, lot of not a great display, as we touched upon. But there you are. So there. For Crystal Palace fans, how do you feel that your side got knocked out on the penalties this time? I mean, why did you go with Zaha and Eze? I'm not entirely too sure why. Because you probably wanted that bit more experience, and they didn't bring them. So, but yeah. Oh, as I mentioned, I'm not going to keep this on for very long, because I'll have to get tea sorted and preview it set up for later on at 8:30. So there you go. Les, even all good or bad, I wish I could have watched it. Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I think definitely a lot of us would love to have, for those who couldn't see, would have loved to have watched it as well. I mean, just winning on that penalty shootout, absolutely, as well. But do you think would you prefer a home tie next again, guys? Or would you not mind an away tie, possibly against one of the lower league teams? But yeah. So, yeah. But again, the main thing is that we won. That was the main thing. We won the penalty shootout, so that was it. So, there. But we know there's still some players who are not good enough, as I've just touched upon. I mean, Lascelles not for me anymore. So, yeah, went to the draw. It'll be tonight after the Man United Villa game. Home ties all the way, says Les. Yeah, I can understand why. I want to try and reach as far as we can in this tournament. Definitely. Yep, tonight after the Man U game. Yep, that's when the draw will be. So I'll be keeping an eye out on that, definitely. So good evening, PD and all. Yes. Thanks. I like coffee in the house as well. How did you think of that yesterday as well? So, yeah. So, yeah, keep the comments there coming in. And I'm going to probably do the player ratings there very, very shortly as well, definitely. But what did you make seeing the likes of ESM back in the side, even though I thought he was poor for me? Shelby, it was great to see him back. I thought he wasn't too bad at times as well. Anderson got the chances he tried now and then. But yeah. But what did you make? We had to fetch a lot of our big players on in the second half, the likes of Bruno, Willock, Trippier, Botman, Miggy as well. So, yeah, but Miggy close, as I mentioned, to score when he came on as well. So, here you are. Les also says, hope Bruno has got over the pen last night. Looked devastated, but he gives so much more every game. Absolutely. Hopefully he puts that behind him now and he looks to focus at home against Chelsea on Saturday because, yeah, we will definitely need it. He's going to be needed massively in this game, definitely. I think Joe Linton's going to be needed massively as well because I thought he did very well for me yesterday and he scored his penalty very, very well, definitely as well. So very important that definitely those two are up for this, or that they are focused there for this Saturday in particular, definitely as well. So, but I mean, as I mentioned, Palace had some opportunities, but not many. I've got to admit. So again, just both teams cancelling each other out a lot of the time. That was the thing. So there you are. But there you go. We've got a funny one from I Like Coffee. Oh, God, here we go. Right. Apparently, the screen stopped working at Anfield during the penalty shootout. So they had to use Klopp Steve to show the penalty skull. Oh, Jesus, wet man. Hey, God almighty. I knew he was going to. I had a feeling there was a comment going to come on about Klopp again tonight. So, hey, Jesus, my word. There was definitely something going to come about Klopp. But yeah, Liverpool winning on penalties against Derby. But 0-0 draw against Derby. And that to take that to a penalty shootout. Derby of all teams. Wow. But hey, oh. Is what it is, though, isn't it? Leeds out as well. Wolves knocking them out just by a goal to 0. Chelsea, as I mentioned, out as well. They're poor. They're so poor at the minute. Yeah, for me, Chelsea. And that is why I do fancy us to beat them on Saturday. Really, really do fancy us to beat them on Saturday, definitely. I mean, I like obviously Bruno's penalty was hilarious. I mean, what was that? What was he doing for that? His first time. And he made the dogs dinner with that. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't great, was it? So, there you are. Because imagine if Palace did score that penalty after his miss. But, hey, again, it's all down to Nick Pope for getting us that, for booking our place into the next round. Definitely. Not to mention, of course, he could see Wood, Trippier, Joe Linton because they scored their penalties as well. So there you are. Chris would have done better than that 1v1. Should have done. For me, could have done. Because that was a bit of miscommunication from Crystal Palace. It really, really was. So, Lewis says, Nick Pope in the middle of our goal. Nick Pope, yeah, absolutely. Yep. Because that's how just so good he has been. So for us, that's just shows how great of a signing he has been for us. I mean, I thought at first that Karius might have started this game yesterday, but no. Eddie Howe thought, no. Wanted to go with me best keeper. You know who that is. And I like Coffee says, I think Wood tried to nutmeg the keeper. He did, but keeper saved it. So, there you go. But who do you think? It'd be great interested to see who a lot of you thought underperformed for me, because there was a few that did really underperform for me, definitely. So, and I like obviously glad we have Pope in goal. Absolutely, yeah. Lewis says, thank God we won on penalties. Yep. We couldn't see the game. Oh, damn it. That's a shame that. The whole bloody team, apart from Nick Pope, a couple of other players who tried, but a lot of players weren't that great with it. Yeah, that was the thing. So, penalties, he meant penalties. Lewis meant penalties, so I knew what he meant. Yeah, definitely as well. So, yo. And I'll run through the player ratings in a few moments. So there. So, but a lot of these players, some of these players will definitely not be scoring high because some of these, there's still some in there that kind of need to move on for me, definitely. There really, really is. So there. Oh, Google text speech, says Lewis. Oh, they really should televise these games. This kind of should do, shouldn't they? I mean, I don't know why, like, but they should have looked to try and do that. Definitely for those who couldn't attend the game, definitely, because I don't think anyone probably found anywhere to watch it at all. Just don't think it was being shown anywhere. Was it? Lewis says, I want Milton Keynes or Blackburn Rovers. Interesting. We could get one of them. You just never know. It will be a very interesting tie tonight. So, yeah. So we'll wait to see when the draw gets announced at 8 o'clock. Well, I mean, sorry, not 8 o'clock. After the... I like how he said, Baz found through his connections, he gave us commentary. I've not called with Baz's watch long. So there you are. Because Blackburn, because I have a mate who plays for them. Nice one. Interesting there, Lewis. So I can kind of understand why you want Blackburn in the next round. That would be a very interesting tie. It really would be. Definitely would be, yeah. If we did manage to get Blackburn Rovers in the next round. So again, it all depends what's drawn out the bag after Man United against Villa. But it's really a bit awkward. I wouldn't say it's awkward, Lewis, to be honest. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's awkward. Yeah, hope Eddie Howe works on our players' penalties. Yeah, I mean the one that Botman and Bruno missed. Yeah, I can. Hopefully, he does work with them. Definitely. So there. But, yeah. So Botman and Bruno missing gave me anxiety. It did for me for a bit as well because those went in. That would have just made it a little bit more easier for us. My God, Bruno, what do you think he was doing exactly? First time should have done that. Not what he did. Stand and stopped. So there. But I think hopefully Bruno will learn not to do that. And then if he gets to take a penalty against some time for us, so hey ho. So here you are. So I'll do the player ratings in just a moment. So yeah, be interested to see what your comments will be for the player ratings. But again, a lot of these are going to be scoring highly, I've got to admit, because again, performance-wise, really poor for me. So there. So I'm happy because 3 Newcastle players will be picked for England. Yes, Pope, Trippier, and Callum Wilson have both been selected for the World Cup. So yeah, there you are, which is absolutely great to see. Well, then let's do the player ratings now. So we got to start off with this man again, Nick Pope. Oh, yes. He booked our place pretty much in the next round of the Carabao Cup. The saves he made was just unbelievable. He really, really was. And I'm glad to see he was in goal yesterday, even though I thought it was going to be Carriers. But Nick Pope was in there and he saved us and won us that penalty shootout. He really, really did. Double figures, 10 for Nick Pope. Nick Pope, 6 for the game. Penalties, 10. Interesting, yeah. 10's got to be because he saved us. Right, let's go to the back four. Let's start with Javier Manquillo. And again, there was just a lot of times he went backwards with the ball. And rather than trying to go forward with it, it was his opportunity to get that game because we knew we were going to not start Trippier. So it was his opportunity to see what he can do. But he has been out the side a while, you can tell, but I just wasn't impressed with the backwards and the sideways passing a lot of the time. I think I'm going to... Manquillo, I'll give a 4. Because it just wasn't great, was it? 6. Manquillo, very rusty as well. Yeah, that's why I've scored him a 4, I've got to admit. I don't know, I didn't see the game, just the highlights. Fair play. Right, centre-backs, let's start off with Jamal Lascelles. Not great. I mean, I've said all I need to say about this man, and he's just not good enough now for this football club. He really, really isn't. That's the problem. So, there you are. Not great. So, I'll go with a 4 for Jamal Lascelles as well. And alongside him was Dan Burn, one of the better out of the centre-backs, of course, but not the greatest. I've got to admit as well. But I think he'll be back at left back for me on Saturday against Chelsea. So, yeah, well, I'll give Dan Burn a 5 because, again, not great, but the better out of the things. 5. Lewis Lascelles looked clueless. He did at times, didn't he? Big Dan Burn a 6. Fair play. 6 isn't a bad score as well. And on the left-hand side, it was Matty Target. Rusty for me as well. Really, really rusty for me as well. Again, lost his side because Dan Burns took over that place, but there was a lot of misplaced passes, I've got to say, from Matt Target yesterday. There really, really was. I'm going to give Matt Target a 4 as well. It was just a lot of misplaced passes there was from him yesterday. There really, really was. So that's why I'll give Matt Target a 4 as well. Target rusty, yeah. He's going for a 5.5 for Matt Target. Fair play. Let's go into midfield. And I'm going to start off with Sean Longstaff. Not brilliant, wasn't great, not good, but he's been working his socks off lately, and you could tell how tired he was yesterday as well, I've got to admit. So there you are. So I'll give Longstaff a 4 because it wasn't great, but you could tell how tired he has been because of where he's been playing week in, week out at the moment. And so let's go for 3. I'm guessing that's for Matt Target. Wow. So I've scored Sean Longstaff a 4 there. The next one in midfield, I'm going to go with is John Joe Shelvey. And it was pretty okay, I thought, from... Excuse me, that. From Shelvey as well. Still don't think he's ready to be starting yet, I've got to admit. But it wasn't too bad from Shelvey yesterday. I had a feeling he was going to start, but I thought it was pretty good from Shelvey. I'll give Shelvey a 6. Let's go for 3 for Longstaff. It was for 3. Okay, then. Again, it wasn't great, but you could tell how tired he was. That was the thing. So there. Shelvey up 4.5. Okay. I thought Shelvey wasn't bad yesterday. I've got one mate. And the last one in the midfield, and that was Joe Linton, and he did very well for me yesterday. Technically, as soon as we brung on the likes of Bruno and that, he really upped his game after that. I thought Joe Linton, he really, really did. So, and he scored a cracking penalty as well, Joe Linton. So, yeah, but I'll give Joe Linton a 7. I thought he did very well yesterday. And I think we need him in that start lineup on Saturday, definitely against Chelsea. 100% would do. So that's why I give Joe Linton 7. Shelby had a nice long volley, but wasn't on target. Yeah, absolutely. Do 7 for Joe Linton as well. And I like Covey's going for a 7 for Joe Linton as well. Him as well. So there. Right, let's go with the attacking 3. Let's start off with that man, Elliot Anderson. And he tried. He did try. He had the chance on his left foot. It was easy caught by Johnston, the keeper, but I thought he tried for me yesterday. Hopefully he gets more opportunities there for me, definitely, Elliot Anderson, because he's earned his opportunity to see what he can do for us now. So there. So I'll give Anderson a 5 because I thought he tried at times. He really, really did. So there. So and out on the left-hand side, I'll go with ASM. And I thought at times he was non-existent for me. He really, really was. As I mentioned, wasn't great. I don't think he's ready to start yet. I've got to admit as well. I think Murphy's going to be back in that lineup for me on Saturday as well. So there you are. So, but it was very disappointing with ASM yesterday. I thought it really, really was. You could tell probably a little bit rusty at the moment, Maxi, because again, he's been out injured a bit, and he's not been getting started at the moment because of the other players are doing very well. I'll give ASM a 4. Not great yesterday for me. So there. Lewis Elliott 5. Brilliant performance. The lad was brilliant. He tried. ASM a 4. Yeah, as well. And last one, I'll go with Chris Wood. Not a great performance. It really, really wasn't. I mean, he scored a cracking penalty, to be fair to him, but we've just come to the conclusion it's just not working for him, really, at this football club. It just really, really isn't. That's the thing. So, there. Well, so I'll give Chris Wood a 5. That was because he scored a cracking penalty, which was brilliant. So that's why I'll give Chris Wood the 5, because he scored a cracking penalty. Yes, Steven is best for Chelsea. Interesting, could be. Wood a 4, interesting. Chris Wood a 4 as well, but also penalty, yeah. I mean, I agree. Definitely. So there. Right, on to the substitutions now. So we'll rattle through them now as well. And we had two come on at the same time. So we'll start off with that man, Bruno. Apart from his penalty that he skied over, you can tell what he's all about now with this club, Bruno. That's why we needed him to come on yesterday. That was the thing. So there you are. And no doubt he'll be focused for Saturday. No doubt about that. And you'll know he'll want to put that penalty behind him. Because he skied the penalty, I'm going to give Bruno a 6. Because that is why. So there. Lewis is going for a 7 for Bruno. Fair enough. I'm giving him the 6 because of his penalty. So interesting. Bruno, he was not smiling in the group 4-2. No, he wasn't. Because I think it was that penalty that made him feel like that. But well, let's go into Kieran Trippier. And again, definitely changed as well when he come on for me as well. You can tell why he's just been the captain so far when Lascelles doesn't play at all. So there you are. You can tell why he's our number 1 right back at this football club, definitely. I'm going to give Trippier 7 because I thought he did very well when he come on. For me, this penalty was really good for me as well. Bruno probably saw his name in shining lights. Yeah. Trippier an 8, fair play. Yeah. But I'll give Trippier a 7 because I thought he definitely changed it when he come on, definitely. Next substitution. No, we had another one come on at the same time as well. And that was Sven Botman. And again, apart from his penalty, you know what he's all about as well. You know why he is important to our side as well. So there you are. And no doubt he'll be back in the start lineup on Saturday as well. No doubt about that. As well, Botman will be back in that start lineup on Saturday, definitely. So I'll give Botman a 6 because missed the penalty. That's why I'll give him the 6. So there, right. Let's go to the other substitutions and let's go with Miggy. Had an opportunity to score that. Was saved by the keeper, but you know what he's like now. For us now, he's just so good, isn't he? He's just so good, isn't he? So there you are. Very surprised he did take a penalty yesterday, Miggy, but there you are. I'm worried about Chelsea after seeing yesterday's game. We could beat Chelsea. Botman a 6.3, Miggy a 7. I haven't got him into Miggy's rating, but you know what? I'll give Miggy a 7 as well. You can tell he kind of, that was changed for when he came on as well, definitely. So there you are. The last substitution, and that was Willock, but not on for a lot of time, so we'll not mark him, or just go down the middle and go 5. So maybe he should have done better with that chance. Yeah, he should have done as well, definitely. So there. But there you are. Let's go into the fans, and you know what the fans are like. 10 easily. Just so good on a match day. They really, really are, and that's what St James's Park is all about, definitely. Referee, I'll go with a 6. Not too bad. But again, he's still blowing. A lot of these referees are still blowing fouls for like soft touches and that. So there you are. 1 million out of a million, says Lewis for the fans. Referee, I said a 6. Not bad, but he's giving a lot of these little touches, fouls for little touches, and I just don't get that. Yeah, for me, definitely. So there. Eddie Howe a 6, 5. Well, let's go to the manager now. Eddie Howe. And do you know what? I'll give Eddie a 7. You can tell why he wanted to rotate, but can understand why he wanted to keep some players in the side as well. The performance wasn't great, but the main thing is we won on a penalty shootout. And the reason I'll give him the 7 is he decided to go with his best goalkeeper as well, Nick Pope. So that is why Eddie Howe gets a 7. Well, let's just go for a 5 for Eddie Howe. Okay, then. Fair play, but I'll give Eddie a 7. So there. So that is the player ratings. Right, that is it. I'm going to wrap this up for this live match review. Player ratings. Again, I'll be back again at 8:30 for the preview for the Chelsea game, and I have got a Chelsea fan joining me for that one as well, and that is going to be Charlie from the Blues Brothers channel. So he's going to be joining me for the preview at 8:30. So do keep an eye out for that coming. Nick Pope is going to be the penalty shootout for England if we get that far. Hopefully, yeah, it's absolutely by PD. Yep. Well, I'll catch you later on though, as well. So yeah, guys, I'll see you just a little later on. Just rattle quickly through some more comments. No, it's not John. Oh no, it's a Chelsea fan Charlie who's joining me for that one. For that one, John, where's that blue shit? Oh, God, as well. Well, guys, I'll just, guys, I'll see you just a little bit later on. See you in a bit.